Hey everybody, this is Brett from Moonstream. Just want to give you a Friday update on the markets. Things have cooled considerably. Mostly the ETF flows have slowed down. We're going to look at that a little bit here today and what to expect on this dip. And will we go lower? Will we go higher? Starting to see some indications that probably isn't what most people think. So let's dive into it. On the BlackRock's tracker here of the ETFs here, you know, BlackRock and Fidelity still around 26 billion in assets under management. That's considerably higher than it was a month ago, where we were right about 10 billion and then 16. So it really has jumped up. And so in this case, so just BlackRock and Fidelity running that grayscale here, 26, 27 billion. So once we stop seeing, or we start seeing the outflows of GBTC slow and the inflows accelerate with the other ETFs, I think we're going to see some really rapid price increase. But of course, we came quite far and ran right up past that old high of 70K, and a bit of a fake out there for the bull trap. And then there was $1 billion of liquidations in that 24-hour period, which typically is what happens at these key inflection points. We're also going to look at total market cap here, which is really what you want to be watching for rather than just the Bitcoin price. So with that out of the way, just to pull up some news here, we see GBTC cooling outflows, or outflows slowing down. Interestingly, I'm going to show you, I'm starting to see inflows into GBTC. So that no one's talking about that yet, but I'm starting to see that, and I'll show that in a moment. But anyway, the headline here is the Bitcoin price retests 63K despite GBTC outflows dropping below 100 million. Yeah, it's weird. I'm seeing outflows and inflows, and again, I'm going to show you that in a moment. But here's the bottom line. We are seeing that, let's see, all-time highs. We already talked about that. And yeah, GBTC saw just 96 million in outflows per initial data from Archem, which is a crypto intelligence firm. I'm going to pull that up here because I have it. And so anyway, that's all I wanted to unpack there. And so here, let's just dive right in. Archem Intelligence has pretty interesting dashboards, and one of them is the spot ETF dashboard. And so this is kind of hard to read here. I won't go into all this, but down below we can sort of see some of the inflows and outflows. I've already zoomed in back for a moment so we're not jumping all over the place. So this is what I'm seeing though, you guys. I'm seeing, so we've got Grayscale Bitcoin Trust here. We've got outflows of 200 million, 32 million, 57 million. So we are seeing that here, but also seeing inflows, which is interesting. I wonder, because I don't know if they designate, since Grayscale has a new mini ETF, which is maybe it's different. So let's see. We have Grayscale Coinbase Prime. That's coming out of their Coinbase custodian, and it looks like it's going somewhere else. So you know what? I imagine this is their mini ETF, and that's where the confusion is. So, but either way, that is negating the sell pressure and should slow down the sell pressure here. So that's what I'm seeing here, because these addresses are somewhat different, and it just says Bitcoin and ... This says the negatives are the Grayscale Trust and into the other ETF. We are seeing slowing of the other ones. Last week, lots of Fidelity buying, and the IBIT was kind of slowing down a bit also. But anyway, I don't want to go dive too much into that. Interesting though, this is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and we can see how going in last year was accelerating, and then it almost just dropped off a cliff. This data can't be correct here because it shows it's going to zero, but certainly right back here around 321 last week really saw those outflows accelerate. And you know, so I don't know how accurate this data is, or how delayed rather, but anyway, worth taking a look at. Let's see this now on the positive side. You know, on the upside, this crypto fund manager sees Bitcoin ETFs as a 100 trillion path for Wall Street. 100 trillion. Take a deep breath, you guys. Wow, if $1 billion and if 26 billion have come in, if let's say, so when I was doing the calculation, it was just 10 billion between Fidelity and BlackRock, and that had moved Bitcoin's price 10,000. So that was 10 billion. If you do 10 times that, right, then that would have, say, 10x that, and it would have gone 10x, so Bitcoin to 500,000 at $1 billion. If you take 100 times that, we are really getting into some staggering numbers here. 100 times 500,000 That's going to be 2 zeros, 505 million, $50 million Bitcoin. That sounds a bit crazy right there. Just saying. But anyway, if we cut that in half and then that in half, we still have tremendous upside. A lot of this though you have to discount. That's clickbait, trying to make a news name for themselves. So I'm just throwing it out there. One thing to keep in mind though and be careful of is near the market tops. I'm not saying we are, but near the market tops, you're going to see a lot of this reinforced, outlandish, higher prices. And just also consider that 80% of media is placed. So, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of all that, but whoever has the most incentive to spread the this is going much higher so that the bigger whales can use retail. The media is designed for retail to change the narrative and have everybody bullish so that the bigger holders can use them as exit liquidity. So in retrospect, in 2021, we all thought we were going 100K. Our math showed that as well. And we all bought into the fact that it was going to 100K. And in reality, we were being sold to right around the 70K mark. And so it's worth noting that. So anyway, but I do believe this is a shorter lived pullback than people think. And we're going to go much higher soon. And so, by the way, if you like the content, make sure to like the video there and subscribe if you haven't already here to the channel. And we'll be doing more of these. Let's take a look at the DXY, by the way. The dollar index is surging here. A bit surprised to see this. I did think that we would see this continue down. Originally had this here, dropping the Dixie down to about 100, which would be what I call super pump, crypto super pump rally zone. I have another chart that shows that. So we're getting this surprising pump up to these, out of these levels and on the daily time frame. So breaking above the 104, I don't like to see that because that would indicate that certainly we could go higher and that would be lower for Bitcoin. So we just need to be ready and just keep an eye on this. This head and shoulders sort of mildly played out. It's funny though how all these lines are sort of lines in the sand or become more visible after the fact. So you saw a bit of support right there. But at any rate, what we're looking for here is possibly to push up to about the 105 level on the DXY, I would say, and then a rollover. And then we do head lower. I mean, this pre-halving pullback is normal, and typically it does happen, and that's good news because it shows that we are still on the 4-year cycle. And so if we had continued higher on Bitcoin, that would have been a little bit scary in the fact that we went too far too fast and we might have topped out early. Also, what I want to point out is we really should have a red candle this month, and that will be good for everybody. So don't panic. This is a healthy pullback, and the only thing I don't really like about this is if this turns into a and a shallow red candle, that would be a bearish, hanging. There's a lot of different words for it, doji or inverted hammer. So basically, that would indicate we could come down further into April and then bounce. So this may be short-lived. We're saying 52K. The only reason I'm highlighting that is that it's the midpoint of this kind of vector candle here. But here's what I wanted to show you guys. We are 7 candles in. Okay, 6 here, 7 green candles. Bitcoin's never done that before. And so it would be ideal to have a pullback on this and then curve and really rally. So 6 candles, even unusual on a monthly time frame, unless we are in the really parabolic move of the bull run. So we had it here, we had 6 here, and then that was it. So a little bit troubling on that sense. We had about 5 here, and if we go much farther back, it's really not as relevant. But even on the parabola here, we had 3, 5, and then a little bit of a rest, and then we continued higher. So this is, this candle, though, still showed some bullish sentiment. What I don't like about this candle is we pushed up to 74K, and in reality, it is a triple top. So we've got a little bit of resistance there to uncover. We've got to pull back and rest a bit. And also taking a look at the RSI monthly, breaking above this zone. I'll go to a weekly briefly because this 88 level here has been traditionally a difficult level for Bitcoin. When it gets up into these ranges, it pulls back. And so we had talked about that before. came right up to the 88 level on the weekly RSI, and so keep in mind these are take profit zones. Certainly if we get up in this range above 92 and can go as high as 98, so back in 2013 and before that are the only times it's really gotten that high, but the last cycle high in 2020, at least on the RSI, it was the peak there was around this 92 level. So what I thought I had alerts on that, but at any rate I will definitely be keeping an eye on that for us. So stochastics RSI also overbought, coming down a bit, not unusual, not unexpected. We really want to see, we'd love to see this thing bottom out and go higher. We just don't want to wait multiple weeks going on into April when the halving is supposed to happen. We really ideally for that left translated cycle. And again, we're just trying to read the tea leaves and have a plan either way. But it would indicate on a weekly time frame we drift down into the lower levels here and into April, into the halving so this correction could be 2-3 weeks in the making. Money flow is starting to roll over here. We can see this is the delayed data, so at the end of the week we'll have more up to date, but I do believe we'll see that money flow calm down a bit, and then we'll get a bounce. Money flow good, obviously, and of course watching this MACD on the monthly time frame, comparing it to the last cycle, it's worth noting that we sort of saw this thing push up higher. We had about 7 of these on the MACD and the big green candles. We are 6 in, so let's say we have another big push next month, and we'll want to keep an eye on that. That doesn't mean market top, it just means that moving average convergence, convergence divergence starting to peak. And then we're in this this is the bull run range, but we want to be watching for when it starts to roll over. This is one of the reasons and ways that I called the top exactly in January of 2022. I was actually telling people to get into cash as early as September. I have screenshots of that to our private members saying get into cash September of 2021, October, November, and December saying this is overbought, time to get out, but really pounding the table on this cross in January of 2022, and those who listened are very glad they did. And by the way, if you'd like to find out more about the private training that we do there and live classes like this on Wednesdays, you can find out more at moonstream.io/maxsuccess. And this is where we do live trainings every week on Wednesdays, and I can learn a little bit more about this here. Daily access to me in a private Signal chat, and Wednesday live classes, the Signal chat. I'm in every day posting updates and charts and buy opportunities, so you can learn more about that members area and other cheat sheets and trainings and things like that, like candlestick patterns, high probability trade setups, etc. And you can learn more about that there, moonstream.io/maxsuccess. So anyway, but back to the charts here. Let's take a look at the halving cycle here. I have been talking about a left translated cycle. Bob Lucas put this on my radar last year and started to create our scenario of how that could happen, the 10 reasons that'll push us to 155K Bitcoin this year, probably, possibly, I think more like probably, and 210,000 as a cycle high, I think, maybe higher. This is just a drawing here, and so this kind of shows, though, we're pushing higher before the halving, which would be right in this range. And if I turn on that halving signal, it'll show us exactly. The halving's out here, so typically we have the halving, and then prices run higher. But if we waited all the way till here in sort of May, this seems inaccurate. But this is coming up in April of 2024, so. That's interesting. So that indicator may be wrong. So basically, let's keep it simple, you guys. Basically, though, we're pushing up here, going into the halving, and so I do think we see, the peaks maybe peaking out as early as, November of this year. And I'm hearing other people saying that. So November, December, the end of this year, 2024, we want to watch for a potential cycle high, and there's still a possibility we see a dual cycle like in 2012 and 2013. Been watching the Pi cycle top for signals for that, and so keep you posted on that. I think I talked about it last week. I'm not going to get into it today. Here on the IBIT, have been tracking the BlackRock IBIT, and if we go all the way back down to a 4-hour, when I first started tracking this, it had some trouble around 25 after the initial sell-off here in the $25 range, and had third or fifth retest, by the way. And so sure enough, once and twice, and the third time it broke out, put a little green arrow. That was our clue. This is going much higher. And then using some of our proprietary indicators here, these are buy blocks of money flow here, and then broke up again to consolidated and broke out heavily here, really shot up as we saw. So this is kind of a surrogate and a leading indicator in some ways of the what's happening in Bitcoin. Do see some buying blocks here on this pullback, so I would imagine this could be a double bottom. The IBIT maybe sell off a bit down around 35, and then we'd see a bounce. And that's just the 4-hour. But on the 12-hour, I'm starting to see it's a little bit more interesting. Bouncing off the 50-period exponential moving average. So, so again, I would say that we see something kind of like this, maybe come down a little bit here first, but we still resistance up in that range, and we did get a buy-sell block here with our early reversal indicator. So this was our first clue that markets were coming down, and so, but I don't think we have too much further to go, and we'll have to see what happens. Certainly, there's a lot of things that could happen news-wise in the market. But for now, this is the Bitcoin chart. A lot of buying pressure, buying support here at 60K. And I think we could go down to 57, 58K, right in that range. I'm seeing, or right about here, which is right around 60,000 on that monthly candle, a little different. But what I have noticed over the years, the midpoints of these, a vector candle is when the market maker changes the price range and they want to move Bitcoin or the price into a new price range. And there's certain ways they do that. Won't get into that here, but essentially, typically that will retest before going higher. So that would put us right at 59,700, 59K700. You guys can hold me to that. I bet you we get a wick down or a retest there to hold at the 50-day exponential moving average. It's not there, it's here. This is my prediction. This is where we go, I believe. So right about 60,000 would be where I'd be buying Bitcoin again, these big round numbers, and we could see a wick down around 59,700. And anyway, all we care about is that it holds on that level right around 60K, and then I think we push much higher and going into the halving. So anyway, that's what you guys can, I won't say bank on, but it's a very important level that I'll be watching carefully. And also, we have a new Bollinger Band indicator that we've created here. Basically, it's color-coded, these vertical red lines. What I've found is everyone's using Bollinger Bands wrong on crypto. The standard Bollinger Band is a 2 standard deviation, and it doesn't capture the highs and lows at all very well. And what let me turn off our rocket indicator. But what I found is with the 3rd standard deviation, invariably, when it gets above that upper Bollinger Band, and so we've color-coded that red as overbought and the lower Bollinger Band as green. And let me turn off the ERI Pro so we're not confusing this. These red lines you can see every time, almost every time when it gets above that upper 3rd standard deviation Bollinger Band, it pulls back down. Here again, got above it, pulls back down. That's that red vertical line. And so we've made it easier to see because these are excellent take profit levels. People always ask, where should I take profits? And this is one of the simple ways. If you want to color code or change the settings in your own Bollinger Bands, you can do it. Change the standard deviation from 2 to 3, or you can get in touch with us so we can tell you how to get these. They're brand new. We don't even have a website for it yet, so I won't give you a link. But anyway, just wanted to put that on your radar there. Here again, sold off. And then here went sideways. Sometimes it'll go consolidate sideways, but good early indications that it's running out of steam. And similarly, on the bottom way, if the price gets below the lower Bollinger Band, which we've color-coded in green for opportunity and buy, sure enough, it bounced back up in the Bollinger. Here again, sideways till it hit the median. And my good friend Steve Nissan, the father of candlesticks, taught me that generally when it hits one extreme, it goes to the other. So down here, it went to the lower Bollinger Band and then straight up to the top of the Bollinger Band. So these are tradable. These are good places to take profits, and we'll be further developing that along with our suite of pro indicators here that kind of giving us an edge, as well as these buy blocks here. These are where buy orders are on the books, you guys. Now this is for Coinbase, but generally that's a good surrogate for where the buyers are lined up here, and our trend strength indicators getting oversold. So you know what, we're not there. I wouldn't buy the dip just yet. I would be ready to buy the dip soon though. And I hear people saying 55,000, 50,000. I don't think so. I think we dip here and we go higher, and that's going to fool a lot more people waiting for a deeper dip. So, and it's only a matter of time before the ETF money starts coming back in, you guys. So with that, that's about all I wanted to teach you. One quick thing is there are some people who have been reaching out and saying, hey, we'd love to work with you privately. I've got a limited number of places and spots to work one-on-one with people if you'd like help putting together an optimal portfolio in this bull run and don't have time to day trade or trade these like these. And you can find out more about that at moonstream.io/coaching is the short version, or just overview-video. If you go coaching, it will. It's not so much coaching. It is about creating a model portfolio that helps you weight the different crypto coins. I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot give you buy, sell recommendations, but what I can do and have been doing with clients lately is creating a model portfolio and together weighting how much of each coin makes the most sense. So you can find out more, and you can watch the video there at moonstream.io/coaching. And of course, that's in partnership with Max here. And so again, please like the channel, comment down below if you like the content today, and also if you'd like to have me cover any coins in the future. I tell you what, I will just give you some alpha on some of these other coins here, and I'll just hop over to my watch list here. We are, by the way, I'll give you a little bit of alpha. I think AI coins are the sector to watch. Gaming is not really showing me what I want to see. I think the AI sector is where it's going to really be happening and hot. Ethereum did pull back. I sold it around 4,000. I think we'll see a similar retrace up around 5,000. 4,800 is where the sell pressure is. Solana is also going to be a big driver here, and maybe outperforming, dare I say, maybe outperforming Ethereum on a ROI basis. So we'll have to see. We do have a extensive watch list in our inner circle group. Not here to talk about that, but we've been mapping out the top AI coins and various other categories, DPIN, etc. And we'll be keeping a close eye on those for you guys. So anyway, with that, sea of red here, but there are a couple standouts. I did recommend Phantom Coin a couple days ago. That was our #1 pick in 2021. It's been on a tear here, and it went up 18,525% after we recommended it back in January of 2021. So with Phantom Coin, I don't see any sell pressure up until about $1.45, call it $1.50, $1.60, but this is one I like a lot. However, we in terms of the trade channel, if you guys are looking for a simple strategy that works, draw these trend channels on your favorite coins. They do tend to bounce to the top and to the bottom, and when they get above or outside these trend channels, usually typically retrace back around the middle. And even more significant is if you catch them on the bottom here, great opportunities to get into your favorite coins. So anyway, that's all I have for today, everybody, and so thanks very much. Have a good weekend. Looks pretty quiet out there. I would suggest it's probably going to be kind of quiet through the weekend, and then we'll have some more information Monday. I would be careful and not trade Monday. Good to let things settle out, and sort of then go. Top traders don't trade Mondays and Fridays, and now that Bitcoin is partially an institutional product, it's certainly slowed down on the weekends, because why? ETF money doesn't work on the weekends, you guys. So right now, the hedge fund guys, the ETF teams, the guys at BlackRock, they're sitting around having an afternoon meeting, and they're saying, all right, what are we going to do on Monday? So we won't know until then. I would say enjoy your weekend, and if you see any opportunities to take profits, good idea. Always take profits. You don't sell all of it. You can always sell half, and if you sell half and it dips, you buy it back. If you sell half and it goes higher, then usually it'll retrace down. So that's the strategy to keep in mind. Not financial advice, but anyway, guys, thanks so much for your support. A lot of you have been reaching out, saying you're enjoying the content, so I will try to do more of these. So cheers, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.